Hi, and welcome to Joe Marquis Wagers. This is Joe Marquis. A little bit of a different setting. We are at a rest area in Illinois. Traveled about 300 miles, not quite as far along as we would like. We got a late start. We had a little bit of a business emergency we had to take care of. But I did get a look at games right before we left. And this is going to be like quick and easy. I basically am going to give one wager for every game, including Mondays. So this will be it until my kind of analysis video on Tuesday. So the first game is the Chargers at Green Bay Packers. Line opened with the Chargers favored by 3 with an over-under of about 43.5. I think you hear the dog in the background eating. My wager on this one is going to be Musgrave over 2.5 receptions. The Chargers struggle with tight ends, and Musgrave has been playing well of late. So I'm just going to go with Musgrave over 2.5 receptions. It's in Green Bay. He's kind of become a good, solid outlet for Jordan Love. The next game is the Tennessee Titans at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jags are favored by 6.5 with an over-under of 40.5. Good team, got embarrassed last week. Now they're playing at home against a sub-500 team. This is kind of like my bread and butter that I'm always looking for. I'm going to take the Jags to cover the 6.5. They're the better team. I know it's a divisional game, gives me a little bit of pause, but I mean the Jags got embarrassed last week to the Niners. I think they've had a good week of practice, and they're going to be ready for when Tennessee rolls in. And like I think I mentioned in my last video, I think had overestimated Levis a little bit after that first game he played with the 4 touchdowns. I think now that there's tape on him, I think the teams are playing him a little differently, and he hasn't had nearly the same success in his next 2 games. Las Vegas Raiders at Miami Dolphins. The line opened with the Dolphins as 11.5-point favorites and a game total of 46.5. Miami's coming off their bye after their loss to the Chiefs in Germany. The Raiders have looked good the last 2 games, but those 2 games have been against the 2 New York teams. So it's hard to say they've actually turned a corner completely. I expect the Dolphins to win at home, but 11.5 is a lot of points. I expect the Dolphins to be playing with a lead and are going to run the ball a lot at that point. So I'm going to go with Mostert to exceed 57.5 rush yards. Now this next one is, I'm going to look at 2 games at the same time, and I'm going to do a 2-team 6-point teaser. And I'm looking at the Cowboys at the Panthers and the Bucks at the 49ers. Both spreads are double digits. They opened at the same, minus 10.5. Cowboys are on the road and the 49ers are at home. Like I said, I expect them both to win, but that's still a lot of points. So I'm going to do a 2-team 6-point teaser. Now this lowers the odds, but both teams only have to win by 4.5. But again, it's both teams, so it's kind of like a parlay too. But I think it brings it down to like minus 130 or something like that. So that's going to be it's actually my biggest wager of the weekend is going to be to tease these 2 teams down.
Are you eating?
And this is my wife, Carrie Ann. There's the dog, Sugar. And that is my daughter, Annabelle. All right. The next game is the Arizona Cardinals at the Houston Texans. It's a 4.5-point spread. The Texans are favored, and it's a 47.5 game total. The Texans' offense has been clicking on all cylinders of late. I don't expect that to change against the Cardinals. I am going to play the Texans to exceed their team total of 27.5 points. Pittsburgh Steelers at Cleveland Browns. The Browns are actually favored by 2.5 with a game total of 34.5. I mean, with Watson out for the season, I was very surprised to see this. I don't understand it. I'm just going to take the Steelers on the money line. I don't see the Browns with a rookie QB beating the Steelers against Mike Tomlin and that defense. New York Giants at Washington Commanders. This is a big spread. It's a 9.5 in favor of the Commanders with an over-under of 36.5. That's a big spread for a really low game total. And I mean, the Commanders aren't a great team. I mean, that's a lot of points. That's basically telling us that the Giants just aren't very good. Here's a surprising stat. I don't know if you knew this or not, but Sam Howell leads the NFL in passing yards. They're facing the New York Giants at home. The Giants are playing with their third-string quarterback. I'm going to take Howell to exceed his passing yards of 253.5 yards. Chicago Bears at Detroit Lions. This is also a 9.5 point spread with an over-under of 46.5. The Bears defense is actually one of the best in the league, but that could be because their pass defense is one of the worst in the league. This game's in Detroit. I'm going to play Amon-Ra St. Brown to exceed his passing yards of 82.5. Seahawks at Rams. Right now, the Seahawks are favored by 1 with an over-under of 46. The first time these teams met, the Rams beat Seattle badly in Seattle. Seattle's the more talented team, and I think they remember that first game. I'm going to take Seattle on the money line. I think they find a way to get this win to keep pace with the Niners in the division. New York Jets at Buffalo Bills. We all know the Jets struggle to score. The Bills have also been struggling. In fact, they just fired their offensive coordinator. I think this might make a difference. I'm going to go with the Bills to exceed their team total of 23.5. It's kind of like when the Raiders fired their coach. We saw kind of a big burst of energy. I think the same thing happens here with their offense. Minnesota Vikings at Denver Broncos. The Broncos are favored by 2.5 with an over-under of 43.5. Russell Wilson has exceeded his rush prop the last 3 games in a row. I think that trend continues. And I have Russell exceeding his rushing prop of 23.5 yards. Dog can't make up her mind. Get that tail out of here. The things you deal with on the road. And I can't see. All right. The last game is the Philadelphia Eagles at the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a rematch of the Super Bowl. The Chiefs offense has been struggling to score points all year. The Eagles tight end Goddard is listed as doubtful, and he's a key piece in that Eagles offense, kind of a security blanket for Hurts. So I'm going to play the game total to go under 45.5 points. All right. Next time you see me, it'll be Tuesday, and I will be in Oregon. So good luck to everyone tomorrow, and I will see you then. Bye.